here talking about options for decorating with pine cones. I am in the midst of decorating our gingerbread themed Christmas tree this year, and I'd say like maybe 80% of the way done on that right now, but it just needs a little extra brown accents. So I thought it might be a really good option just to go through my giant pine cone bin. I don't know if you're a florist and you're watching this, you probably have a pine cone bin as well. We hoard pine cones here for all kinds of different crafts, different wedding touches, wreaths during the holiday season. And also pine cones are really one of those things. Am I filming this? Is this on? Pine cones are really one of those things. I'm gonna see if I'm filming this. I'm filming it all by myself today, guys. Let me just check. Yeah, it's filming. Okay, so pine cones are one of those things that, you know, they're great if you're really into hiking and you're an outdoorsy kind of person. You can always forage these and pick them up, take them home, bake them, clean them, scrub, however you want to process your pine cones. And just save them for a rainy day. You know, you might have a day where, you know, you're indoors with your kids, you want to do some crafting, or maybe you have a day off of work, maybe there's bad weather or something. They're just really great. They're just a great thing to craft with. And they're free. So if you're planning a wedding, these are always a great option for decorating, especially for you woodland Catskill loving couples. These are always a go-to for everybody, especially DIYers. All right, so I have a lot of options today for pine cones. I wish I knew what each variety was called. I always have to look these up on Etsy because I always forget what each one is called. But I'll show you the types I have. For right now, I have these guys, which I absolutely love. I got these in Vermont years ago. I absolutely love them. And they have that beautiful pine fragrance to them and a tiny bit of sap still, even though they've been cleaned really, really well. There's a lot of character in these. And then I have these guys, which I honestly don't know what type of pine cone these are, but these are pine cones that I struggle with decorating and putting them on wreaths. I feel like they're not flashy enough for a wreath, but they're perfect for your ornaments. So if you want to decorate and use these for your Christmas trees, or, you know, hanging in windows sometimes, they're really, really pretty. So there's a bunch of different ways you can go about decorating if you're going to turn these into ornaments, which I'm doing right now. You can just get some twine and tie it around the top of your pine cone. Keep it as easy peasy as could be. It's funny, when I'm decorating, when I'm being paid to decorate for people, of course everything is like to the letter, it's perfectly done, every loop is a perfect little loop. But when I'm decorating at home, I'm just going for the overall look of my Christmas tree. So I really cut a lot of corners because I'm always making like a million of these at a clip, and I just don't have the patience to make them perfect. If this is something and you're hiring me to decorate your home or your business, that's a different story. Those will be perfect. But for at home, much more casual, laid back here. I think a lot of florists are that way. If you're not, my hat is off to you because this is a tiring time of year. A lot of parties, a lot of decorating, a lot of holidays, all at one time. And sadly, a lot of people get sick this time of year. Okay, so if you're feeling super lazy, you can wrap your pine cone this way. I just went around it. Nothing special. I got my little twine. You could use twine, you could use ribbon, you can use whatever. This is kind of gold wrapped twine. All right, so that's one option. Another option would be to make a little pretty bow and a pretty little loop for your pine cone. So all I'm doing is getting, oh good, I'm glad I'm wearing a black shirt so you can see this. All right, so I'm just taking the two pieces like that, and I'm gonna fashion a little loop. Oops, might have needed to make it a tiny bit longer. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so all I'm doing is making a little knot on the bottom. See that? Okay, got that. And then hopefully you have a glue gun at your house. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on this. secure it right there. I know a lot of you really, really hate hot glue because it burns your hands. My solution for that is to get these crazy little rubber thimble looking things. So, whoops. These are great. I'm going to show you an up close of what they are. In case any of you really, really hate burning your hands. I think most florists have asbestos hands. We're kind of like cooks. You see that? It's one of those crazy, I'm sure like the dollar store still sells these. I don't even remember where I got mine. But you can use that to just push down your glue. And all I did, I just glued the little top knot to that part right there. So we're just going to let that sit for a minute and we're going to let it dry. And I'm sure so many of you probably grew up doing this in elementary school. You know, if you were like on your best behavior, it was probably like Friday pizza day right before the holiday break. Teachers would bust out the pine cones and be like, we're making ornaments, everybody. All right, so the next option while that one is drying is just to get a piece of wire, long florist wire. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. And I'm doing the same thing with this that I did a moment ago with the twine. I'm just gonna go around this, I don't know, once or twice. And I'm just gonna make a little loop out of that. This is kind of a busted up pine cone. Don't be afraid to use pine cones where part of them might be broken or just not as pretty as the other parts of the pine cone, because we're gonna cover them with glitter. You can cover them with fake snow. If you wanna flock them, you could do that. I don't know if I have it on YouTube or not, but there's a video of Matt and I when he was little. I mean, it was 2020 when we did that. I just got a Christmas tree and it was like, you know, rather than throw this one out and move on to something else, we decided to flock it. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm really dating myself here because I worked for a lot of old school flower shops and they would all tell me stories about like the 50s and the 60s, and that was like all the rage was flocking trees and like pinks and blues. And I just kind of felt like at some point in my career as a florist, I kind of had to flock a tree from scratch, and oh my god, what a mess. It was beautiful, but woo, what a mess. All right, so all I did here, I'm going to show you this option. This little guy just has a simple little loop on it. Not the prettiest, but you could do it if you wanted to. This would actually be really pretty if you had like gold wire or bullion wire or something. That's another option. Okay, so option one, you can just tie your pine cones like that. Option two, you could hot glue a little loop of ribbon on it. Or option three, you can do wire. The wire might be a really good option if you're using these like outdoors on a porch or something like that where the weather can get cold. Pro tip, if you don't know this, hot glue many times does not hold up in temperature changes. It gets very, very brittle when it's cold outside, so it's not a good option for attaching any decorations for outdoor use. Excuse me. All right, so now we got our pine cones. I'm gonna move these little guys over. Over. And now I know a lot of you have like super glitter aversion, so if you still are afraid of glitter and you hate messes and all of that, you might want to change the channel or watch something else or watch one of our other videos because we're going to use glitter. Best way to use glitter, honestly, I just use the regular like Elmer's school glue. You could use Mod Podge. You can use hot glue if you want to. I'm kind of old school with this stuff. I've never really had a problem with crafting pine cones just using regular glue. If I had more time before I film this, it is the holidays, cut me some slack. I probably would have gone ahead and gotten like brushes to brush on my glue and make it absolutely perfect, but again, we're making these in mass, so no one's going to look at like one particular item on my Christmas tree. At least I don't think so. So you're just going for the effect of a ton of these, so I am not at all looking for perfection. And pine cones are not perfect. I mean, this is a natural product. So all I'm doing is running the glue down my pine cones right now. You can go zigzag. We're just going to make it look like it rained glitter on this little beauty. Now I kind of like to go heavy on the glitter on the top of these and then have it fade. Oh my gosh, my hands are so sticky already. It's just the time of year. Every time I watch Christmas Vacation, I always laugh at that scene where they're sitting in bed and they're turning the pages in magazines and Clark's hands are just like stuck to every single page like that. That's actually a reality to be a florist this time of year. Okay, so I just got my glitter here and I'm just gonna give it a little shake. I should have paper plates for this, for heaven's sakes. Like, get yourself a paper plate when you do this. All right, so we're just gonna go glitter, glitter, shake a, shake a, shake, shake, shake. It's raining glitter. All my OCD friends are having a panic attack right now. Guys, if you're still watching this, I don't know why you're watching this, but I'm sorry. I know you hate messes. Oh my goodness. All right, there we go. That is a disco looking pine cone. Disco pine cone. All right, there we go. So yeah, then you just sit this little puppy out. And again, this is probably what you did in elementary school, to be honest. Like, I'm sure you all have done this before. This is nothing new, but it's funny. A lot of my adult friends that are not working in a creative industry, you know, they have office jobs and, you know, jobs that are not being florists. They've been asking me a lot this season for decorating tips. A lot of people are cutting back on what they're buying. I know some people do a different theme every single year and buy all new ornaments, all new ribbon, all new trees, wreaths, all of that. But this is the year a lot of people are like, well, can I actually just use that I already have? And my advice is just start foraging. You know, I'm a huge foraging girl. I love being outside. I love hiking, love going for walks in the woods. But I mean, look at this. I have literally one of these huge Tupperware bins that I just keep on hand all the time, just filled with pine cones. You can always look at what you already have. My gingerbread tree this year, I just got a package of Piselli cookies and we just frosted those. Violet did a beautiful job making all of them look like a little snowflake. She put initials on some. She put little heart shapes on other ones. And we also bought some store-bought gingerbread because I'm not I love working with flowers and the evergreens and all that this time of year, but baking is where I draw the line. I hate measuring and can't stand it, and the thought of rolling out dough and actually making gingerbread from scratch, oh my goodness, like I crack up every year when I hear everyone's stories about the gingerbread houses falling over. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. So we went ahead and bought the store-bought gingerbread men and women and ladies and people, and we decorated those just with frosting. So it's coming out really cute, but don't discount doing things like that too. You know, if you don't have any ornaments on your tree, I know when my husband and I first got married, we were saving for a house and, you know, like money was really tight. I know we just decorated with a lot of like sugar cookies and things like that. So you can always do that too. When you're decorating your trees, just look around. What do you have? You might have pine cones, you might have cookies, you might have pretzels that you can decorate. I mean, just think outside of the box. You do not have to go to Home Goods and just, you know, spend a ton of money and buy every single thing new and already made for you. I mean, if you do, if, you know, that's what makes you happy, it's the holidays and what's going to get you through, then go ahead. But for a lot of people this season, they're all asking me of ways to save money. So that's what I would say. Forage, see what you got, look around your house, see what you have collections. Even if you have collections of things, if you're a big collector of seashells, bust out a glue gun and some twine and, you know, I don't know, just go to town, make little ornaments out of those. Anyway, so here is how our little pine cone is looking. I am going to make a ton of these for the tree. This one has gold glitter on it. Nothing very exciting, but when you see tons of it on the tree, I'll show you the final product. It's going to come out so cute. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it looks. These would also look really, really pretty flocked. And this is also making me think of other tips. What else can I tell you guys about pine cones? Oh, I know. This time of year, you'll often see those really gigantic redwood pine cones. Those pine cones are stunning, but they'll sometimes sell for like $15 to $25 if you're just buying one of them. Those pine cones are the ones that are like this big, and you'll often see them in window displays. If you're, you know, in the city and you're doing the whole window tour thing, you'll often see them used in that. A lot of flower shops use them. This time of year, everything is very expensive, but right after the holidays, you can go to all of your local hardware stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, all of, you know, the usual suspects, and they'll have all of their wreaths and everything marked down like 75, 85% off. And many of those wreaths have those pine cones in them, which is wonderful. I've scored a lot of those that way through the years. My other tip is that if you haven't had luck and you haven't been able to find those really big ones and you don't want to spend $1 million on pine cones, you can always wire together some pretty pine cones. So you can take like my little Vermont pine cones that I was showing you before. These are a much showier, prettier kind of pine cone. And you can just do one of these. Where's the stem? It's helpful if they have a bit of a stem to them, but you can wire them and make like little clusters. I need to do a separate tutorial on that one day, but you can definitely get that kind of effect. I'm going to show you close up. Whoops. Easier said than done. This is what happens when you're filming by yourself. It's Christmas time. But you're kind of looking for that type of effect. You know, you could wire them together, giving you the effect of a really, really big pine cone if you wanted to. So, all right. So I think that's all my tips right now for pine cones. I know I'm going to be like in the shower later or falling asleep late at night. I'll be like, why didn't I say? Why didn't I go over this or that about pine cones? But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for now. I'm going to keep glittering these and trying not to get glue all over my face and in my hair. And then they're going to be placed on the tree. I was hoping to do it tonight, but I'm realizing it might take a little while for these guys to dry out. So I'm going to do that, and yeah, I'll show you the finished product as soon as it's ready. I hope you all are having a happy holiday, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Okay guys, I'm back. I thought it was finished, but I just realized I'm probably not going to have time to film the rest of my pine cone tips and things like that, just the way the holiday season is going so far. But I did want to show you, I wired together 3 pine cones just to show you what that looks like, to give you that similar effect to those redwood pine cones that we were talking about. Let me just show you one of these. This is a great dupe if you don't have access. It's still pretty close. You know, if you look at that from far away, if that was just hanging on a porch or in a window display or something like that, you still have the effect of like a big chunky pine cone. I just wired those together really quick. I mean, if I had a lot of time right now, I'd go through the whole pine cone bin and find every single pine cone that's just the right size to give you kind of a more smoother, tapered look. I was really looking for like a little one to fit at the bottom here with these other 3 at the top, but I didn't have any luck just looking at first glance. But I think you can kind of get the idea of how to do that. Just kind of wire those guys together. It still gives you the effect of a big pine cone. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, I totally forgot, but you can definitely spray paint these. That was my original plan. I was going to spray paint half white and put white glitter on them, and the other half was just going to be left plain with the gold glitter on top. And looking at these, I'm probably also going to make bows on the tops of them. If I have time, I really need to do a bow tutorial, because that is a thing I'm seeing all season on my florist chat boards. Nobody knows how to make a proper bow anymore, which is so sad, especially for the holidays. You don't want to do like wimpy little like shoestring bows. Like, I'll show you guys how to make like really big, puffy, beautiful bows. And the other tip I wanted to go over, glitter. Okay, so I know so many of you guys hate glitter and you won't decorate with glitter and you won't let your kids craft with glitter, and like it's a no glitter zone in your home. I get it, you know, some of you really do have anxiety about it, but if you're feeling brave and you do want to work with glitter and you just are kind of struggling with the cleanup part of it, Wonder Bread works wonders for cleaning up glitter. Just that really gummy white bread that you just buy in the bread area of your supermarket. Anything like that will soak it right up and hopefully make less of a mess for your family, and it will make the cleanup a lot simpler for you. So I hope that that helps. Try it out. Try some Wonder Bread. It's always worked for me. I mean, I just clean things up with like a sponge and a vacuum cleaner and things like that. But if you're really struggling to get glitter out of things, or heaven forbid, you spill some glitter, that works really well for me for cleaning up. And if I think of any other tips, I'll let you know. Stay tuned. I am hopefully going to post the picture of the gingerbread tree when it's ready. And I also had that boat tutorial coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to shut this off and I'll see you soon.